Hey. Hey, what's up, Donkey?
Yeah, a whole bunch of people.
Let me turn off my headset so they can hear you.
Audit press Mike Stevens. Rod Zero K. Missing this. Todd Still. Dustin 69. Hey guys. Lady D Miss Free. What's up? Alright, I can't keep reading them. They're going too fast.
Alright, how many we got?
218.
That was fast.
That was fast.
Hey, everybody. I'm alive. Just wanted to give you a quick update. I think the last video we posted was audio from me finally. Notification. Text now. 1 minute ago. Incoming call. 2999. Notification. Text now. 1 minute ago. Incoming call. 29999999. Speech off. Sorry. Yeah, the last video was audio of me calling Nina to help get me out. So I'll just give you guys what I can remember from the time of arrest until she finally got me out. She got me out at 8 p.m. around 8 p.m. last night on Saturday. So the arresting people, kidnappers, took me to Madison Police Department. Then they took me to a room, sat me down, still handcuffed, hands behind my back, and they got their supervisor, I think Lieutenant Smith, and he asked what I could, what he could do for me. I asked him, take off the handcuffs and let me go, since there's no reason for any of this, and told him what happened, and that he's charged me for impeding by not answering his questions, by not yielding the Fourth and Fifth Amendment. So he refused. He said he's going to back his guy, and so I informed him that he lost qualified immunity since this is a violation of civil rights, and put him on notice as well. So that was then. You have Corporal Benfield, Officer Michael, and now Lieutenant Smith there at the Madison Police Department, that are all in colluding together, conspiring to deprive rights. They after some time, they transported me to the Rockingham County Jail, and Benfield pled his case to the magistrate, which is named Carter, and then he asked to talk to me. So I confirmed what Benfield said, because he said exactly what he said to his cop buddies on scene, that he pulled up behind us, and then we started to pull out, because she thought he was a Pokemon player playing Pokemon Go, and then the lights, emergency lights came on, and she's like, oh no, and she stopped, and then we scrambled to get our phones recording. So hers she actually beat me. Hers is recorded a little bit more than mine did, because navigating with the voiceover isn't always the fastest. So he that's what he said was the reason for the stop to the magistrate, and he was charging me with impeding an investigation. And so then I asked him, first I asked him for disability coordinator. I asked them at the site, at the site of the scene, I asked them for disability coordinator. They refused. They said they didn't know anything about it. I asked them at the police department. They refused. The lieutenant refused. I asked the magistrate. The magistrate refused. And then I asked the jailers shortly after that, and the jailers refused. So at every level, they refused a reasonable modification when I was invoking the ADA. So there's that to note. The magistrate, I told the magistrate, what happened, and that this guy is charging me for impeding because I would not yield the Fourth and Fifth Amendments. And I asked him if I had an obligation to answer any of his questions, or any of the questions to the police, and he said no, of course not. And I said, okay, well, that's the whole reason he's charging me. So now that you found there's no probable cause, will you release me? And he's like, well, hold on a minute. So then he stepped off and was colluding with another person back there, some unnamed individual, which may or may not have been another magistrate. It may have been around shift change. I don't know exactly who he was colluding with and conspiring with. But he told Benfield to to move me away. So Benfield manhandled me and took me to another chair, but still within earshot. And then he gave Benfield another chance to make his case, to try to figure out the right sequence of magical words, invocations that he could say to appease the priest to move forward with the charges and the arrest. And he still wasn't getting anywhere with them, because he was saying, suspicious vehicle, somebody flagged him down, told him that we were there for 20 minutes, which is a bold-faced lie. We were there maybe maximum 5 minutes before we started to roll out. And
yeah, if you play Pokemon, it doesn't take that long
Yeah.
to catch Pokemon or two.
Yeah, and so the magistrate's like, does that make sense to you that, he's asking me, like, suspicious vehicle, he has a duty to protect the community and investigate and this and that. I was like, hey, I get it. He wants to investigate things that are suspicious, sure. But that's not what he did. He came up threatening violence, demanding that we do everything he said, and not willing to articulate what crime he suspected us of. And he said, well, suspicious vehicle. And the magistrate said this. I'm like, okay, do you know what crime that is? Do you know what statute that covers suspicious vehicle? Do you know in the North Carolina general statutes, like what covers that? And he's like, no. I'm like, right, because there isn't such statute. Suspicious vehicle is not a crime. This is not a misdemeanor or a felony. So now that you've established that he had no reason for the stop, and his investigation was not legal or lawful, then anything that he claims to be impeding that, like, he has no legal investigation, so there can't be impeding of it. Furthermore, any impeding that he's claiming is that I would not answer his questions, and I have no legal obligation to answer his questions under the 4th and 5th Amendment. And so he's like, well, yeah, okay. And he was agreeing with me there. And then, I had to go pee, and because he went off to go collude again with somebody. So they took me to a cell to go pee, and then I came back and was hearing them conspire together, the officer Benfield and the magistrate, to try to figure out what charges, how to make it stick. And eventually they're like, hey, he's too close, you need to get him away. So they took me back across the room to a cell, to the back side of the cell, and sat me down. But I could still hear them, conspiring. And as they were entering the cell, and I'm pretty sure his body cam was going, I asked him, are you taking me away so that you guys can collude better, so you can conspire to find some charges that stick? And that's exactly what happened, because I don't know, they pulled me back in front of the magistrate, and I don't remember what all he said. My head was pounding at that point because the lights were bright, and they wouldn't let me have a hat or a hoodie or stuff like that. They kept taking it off my head whenever I put my hoodie up. And yeah, so the magistrate was saying stuff to me. Again, I asked for an ADA coordinator or to be able to call my advocate, and he refused. And then they booked me, or they took me into the jail, handed me over to the jailers. I asked for a coordinator for them. They refused. They stripped me, put me in their jumpsuit, took me to an isolation cell, put me in there. And then there's a time gap, like some the pain started hitting a lot. And I think it was sometime around lunch on Saturday, sometime probably around 11 a.m., something like that, where the daytime shift sergeant, I think it's a Rogers name, I don't know exactly, it may have been Sergeant Rogers, and a nurse came in to do their medical intake, and I was, in a lot of migraine pain, barely able to move or talk, and trying to answer their medical questions, and was gesturing to write, doing the whole wiggle my hands and thumb and index together. And the nurse is like, oh, he wants to write his answers. And the sergeant's like, no, we're not going to give him anything to write with. And she's like, okay, well, you need to answer my questions about your medical condition and everything so I can get this intake done and give you care if you need care. And I was trying to communicate with them, but they wouldn't let me communicate with them. So the sergeant's like, all right, well, if you don't answer the questions, then this is a refusal. And if you refuse care, then we're gonna strip you naked and put you on suicide watch. And I think I was able to mumble help. And they said, okay, well, that's a refusal. And then they stripped me butt naked. Oh, they took my glasses off on the initial intake too, so I didn't have my glasses for protection from the light for all this time. And so they stripped the jumpsuit off me, took away all the bedding, sheeting, and everything off the little mattress, or little mat. It's not even a mattress, little mat on the floor. And so they left me naked for, I don't know, probably right before they let me go, which was around 8. So I think they took me off suicide watch after I made my phone call with the night shift, and that was sometime. I think they finally gave me, jumpsuit clothing again, probably around 7:30. I don't know, guessing time. Spatial time awareness is messed up. And but the day shift, the migraine started let off probably around 5 p.m. Again, guessing time, and it let off enough for me to kind of stumble to my feet and walk along the wall to the door and knock on it and ask for help. And the day shift guys are out there laughing and joking, and eventually one of them was like, "Yeah, what's up, dude?" And I'm like, "Hey, I need to make a phone call." And they refused. They said, "Oh no, you were given that chance last night," which I wasn't. I wasn't given the chance to call. Um, at any point up until that time. And so I was like, "Well," I told him that. He's like, "Okay, well, we can work on doing that." And then they went back to whatever they're doing, joking and smoking. And I don't know, it's probably 20 minutes go by, and I'm standing by the door, like knocking on it, asking for somebody to, help me out and figure out what was going on, what the charges were, how do I get out of there? Because I knew I wasn't safe. I knew that they were torturing me by leaving me in the room in the light without any of my protections from the light, and not giving me any kind of care, and put me on suicide watch. So the next step is to kill me and blame it on suicide. The nurse did do a blood pressure on me, and then she came back after, I guess she checked her protocols, I don't know, probably 15-20 minutes after the first check, and came back and was like, "Hey, your blood pressure is through the roof, and I've got this blood pressure medicine to give you to help control it, and you need to sign this paperwork that says I can treat you." And I wasn't able to verbalize, so I was trying to write to communicate, and they again refused to let me write to them. I think I was able to mutter help again, and then the sergeant again declared that was a refusal. And she says, "Well, if you refuse care, then your blood pressure is so high, you're high likelihood of having a stroke." And so, but if you're refusing, then that's your choice. And then they left. So the night shift went. Oh, the guys that when I had the day shift asked for a phone call, and they said, "Yeah, sure, we'll get to it," and they never did. And I asked again. They said, "You gotta wait." They're waiting for me to get my sea legs back or whatever. And I started trying to walk back and forth across the cell to show I can walk. It's like, "Hey, I can walk. Like, just let me make a phone call." And they're like, "Oh no, we're gonna wait till the night shift, the shift change. They'll help you out." And I'm like, "Well, how long is that?" And they told me 40 minutes until they had a shift change. They told me just to wait and lay down and wait for the night shift. So that's what I did. I went and laid back down and tried to cover myself from the light. And then I heard the shift change and went and got the night shift guys. I think it was Daniels was the guy that was helping me out. Like he came within seconds of me knocking on the window and had a wheelchair, got something to cover me up because I was naked, and wheeled me out and helped me go through the phone call thing. So eventually I was able to talk to her, and I think that's, you guys heard that if you're paying attention to the channel. Normally if I'm not injured and able to communicate and have reasonable modification to have effective communication, afforded the same equal access and opportunities as able-bodied people, the plan is to not bond out, to be able to handle it myself and communicate on the best terms that I can. But I wasn't able to do that. They were refusing modifications. They were torturing me and stripped me naked, threatening my life by claiming I was on suicide watch. So we believed that my life was in imminent danger, and the best course of action was to pay the ransom and to get me out, which included giving them everything that they'd asked for identification and fingerprints and pictures and all that. So I told them, under duress, everything I'm giving you is under duress because I'm in fear for my life, and made it clear at every step, anything they asked for information, that I'll give it to you, but this is only because I'm in fear for my life and I want to get out to safety. So there you go. That's the update.
Just got $24.99 from Gabe.
All right.
Thanks, Gabe.
Thank you, Gabe.
Got a PayPal here, I think from George and Charles sends PayPal. We have lots of PayPals that came in, and I'm just. Thank you very much.
Yeah, she's still very shaken up and distressed over this whole thing. So we're trying to figure it out.
I'm super grateful for all the support and backup.
Yeah.
Like a lot of y'all called me and sent messages to encourage me specifically, and then pass on to you.
Yeah.
So I appreciate it.
Yeah, but that's it. You guys know basically everything I know about the situation. We're trying to figure out.
Hang on. I don't know. We back, guys? Mine's buffering.
So.
I think so.
Yeah, so that's it. We don't want to be live for long. We just want to give you guys a quick update.
Yeah.
And
we got 1.1 thousand watching.
Oh wow. All right.
Jeff is here, audits, sharing the stream on his stuff.
Okay. Well, thank you guys. Again, thanks for all the support. And there's a cost. Like the bond was set for $2,500. She paid it, which was $375. She was expecting $250, but two bondsmen told her $375. So she paid that. And what?
One of them wouldn't help me, but the other one had.
Oh yeah.
Howie Hamster Howard gave 19.99 euros.
Hey.
Hi, great you're out. I hope you're going to sue them big time. Love from the UK.
Thanks, Howard. Yeah, this is definitely some cases worth pursuing here in civil action. And I was giving them warning, like every step of the way, trying to appeal to them as humans. Even at the police department, I was trying to help them realize that they are violating their oaths. And I think Officer Michael was saying, "Hey man, thanks for your service. We try to treat you with respect." I'm like, this is respect. This is, if you believe I fought for freedom, this is respect by taking away my freedom. And so, what's that?
It's the same.
I
don't know. If any of you are calling me, leave me a message, and I'll call you back.
But
maybe.
Yeah. So you guys are updated. We'll keep you posted as things develop. If you still want to redress grievances, you guys know how to do that. And it's still the weekend, but the weekdays starting here in a few hours. So yeah, hopefully we can get this bogus charge dropped. Oh, they did change it, by the way. They changed it from impeding. First he was claiming trespass, and then he realized he doesn't have that, and then he was claiming impeding an investigation, which is what I believe he charged me with in the magistrate's office. That's what he was claiming there. But now it's turned up to resisting an officer. So they keep changing it to try to figure out what they can get to stick.
$50 from Dutch Treat says, "I have disabled children whose rights have been violated. Mad respect, man." Oh, man.
Thanks, man.
Thanks.
And sorry that you have to deal with that, but sadly seems like it's the norm, and that's why it seems like it's not safe, especially if you have any kind of disability that prevents you from communicating or having struggles with communicating, to be in captivity, because how can you communicate what aid or help you need, or even to know what's going on and what's what they're doing to you.
They wouldn't even tell you what time it was.
Yeah, they wouldn't tell me the time and all kinds of stuff.
Ethereal Undecided, $20. Hang tough, guys.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate it.
Man, oh my gosh. DK Samaritan, $20 NZ.
All right, cool.
NZ,
New Zealand?
Oh, baby. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it. And it's not just the monetary support, all the messages and texts and phone calls and everything we appreciate. Anybody that wants to help with sending us any templates for filing, pretrial Brady motions and pretrial dismissal motions, that we appreciate that too. We're already trying to find attorneys to help with the defense and with the civil suit, but they're not necessarily our primary avenue of defense and way of handling it, because they're still part of the system. But
don't miss your March 2nd court date.
Yeah. All right.
A
Well,
lot going on. We'll keep you guys posted.
again, yeah, thank you guys. If you haven't heard already, you have free reign to share anything we have on the channel.
Yeah.
So you don't need to get specific implicit permission if you want it. Doesn't matter if you are a supporter or a dissenter. Like, you can use anything we have on our channel that's our content. Like, we have a couple mirrored things, I think, but anything that's our content, you have full permission to use any way you want. So.
Yep. Blind Explorer says he's fully blind, and he's messaged on here a couple times to
Yeah.
support and stuff. So, but hey, if anybody wants to email us, you can do that too.
Yeah, and if if you need help with, because I get emails and stuff from people that have relatives and friends with low vision. If you need specific like help or instruction on different assistive devices I use and different tools and navigation cues and things that I use, I'm more than happy to help you share that with people that need that kind of instruction. So, good.
Yeah, there's just like a bazillion comments. So
Yeah.
And once we turn off the live, we can't reply directly to you. So
Yeah.
if you miss something like you really need to know.
Yeah, please. Yeah, please email
Yeah.
insightisfree@gmail.com, and that way we can. Because a lot of times, even if you comment not in the live, but a comment in the videos afterwards, if it gets buried in comments or in replies, then I can't access it. And I can't even copy it. I don't know how to copy it in that in the YT Studio that I use. So
Yeah.
So if you got important information that you definitely want us to have, email us is the best way.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So.
Skip time.
Yeah. Thank you. Finish. Button. Live. 21 minutes. Finish. Button. Cables. Finish. Button. All right. Peace and love. And Dio Presso Liber.